So we are back again with another video of Arsenal transfer news now, daily, whatever you want to call it. And we're finally back with one of these videos after taking a small sabbatical from them. But we've got a load to talk about. Not like the thumbnail and the title is it's just the incomings. We've got a lot of outgoings to discuss as well. So let's get straight into it. First bit of news I want to discuss, however, is on the manager, Mikel Arteta. Now, a report coming out from Matt Law from the Telegraph suggested that he has 5 games to save his job up until the October international break. If he does not improve results, he will be facing a fight to save his job. Now, Josh Kroenke apparently had a meeting with Arteta a few days ago after the result against Chelsea, and they had a meeting and they were apparently not even talking about his job, but they were talking about improvements to the side and transfers and everything like that. Now, what I've got to say to this is, the sooner Arteta gets sacked, it's the better for this football club. We can then move on, get a new man in, and then we can move on as a football club. Now, the longer we delay it, the further we'll go back as a football club. And that's how I see it. Now, he has been back to the hill. You know, we've spent the most in the Premier League. His so many decisions have gone through Arteta, including contract renewals, many signings. We've 23, I think no, 25 of these players are his. 25, including contract renewals and signings. 25 of this team is his. 25. That's crazy. That just sums it up, doesn't it? So to say that he isn't backed is an understatement. And the fact that we aren't competing kind of says it all. And the fact that we're playing in the round 2 of the Carabao Cup because we're not in Europe is just embarrassing in itself. However, that's the news on Mikel Arteta. I don't want to ramble on about this too much because we have got transfer news to talk about. But again, on Arteta, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. When do you think you'll get sacked by? Because I do think they're going to try and hold on to him as soon as possible. A lot of people online that are Arteta out are suggesting that he should be sacked after the Man City game. I agree, but realistically, are they going to do that? They've backed him to the hill. Why would they sack him on, before the transfer window deadline? They wouldn't do that. They're going to stick with him as long as possible. They're going to try and see it out as long as possible. And the thing is, we're playing Tottenham in a few weeks. And if we sneak a win against them, it's going to be all flipped onto let's trust Arteta. That's the worst thing that could happen in my opinion. So the sooner this fraud leaves is the better. But we're going to move on now and we're going to talk about Aouar, a player that we haven't really talked about much this summer, but he was a huge focus last summer. Now Aouar, we've talked about him plenty of times on this channel, and apparently, according to reports out there, according to Get French Football News, Lyon are ready to accept a loan plus an obligation to buy for Aouar. Now, there was a lot of interest for Aouar last summer, including major interest from Arsenal, also interest from Juventus, also interest from Paris Saint-Germain and Real Madrid also. Aouar, but nothing happened because I think it was to do with the price. He was valued at around 40 to 60 million pounds, in between that range he was valued at. And no real bids came in that Lyon were considering. Arsenal did bid a few times for him, but nothing that Lyon saw acceptable. So on that basis, then what happened was nothing happened. He had not a great season with Lyon. They don't have European football, and now they're trying to look to move on players. I think Marcelino, one of their fullbacks, they terminated his contract. They're selling Cornet to Burnley. They're listening to, and they sold Depay. They got rid of Depay to Barca. They're willing to get rid of a lot of their players, Lyon. Now, Aouar could be one that could be on the chopping blocks for Lyon. His price is at 25 to 30 million pounds. No club has come close to bidding that sort of money. Tottenham Hotspur have shown significant interest in the player, as well as Arsenal. That's it. It's just Spurs and Arsenal, but nothing of advanced stages is actually happening. Arsenal do have an agreement with Aouar's camp that if something were to happen, he would choose Arsenal over Spurs if Arsenal were to come in with a potential bid for the player. So on that basis, will Arsenal go back in? Now, he is available on a loan plus obligation. Do Arsenal look at this and say, look, a player that has been a long admirer of Arteta, of the board, Fabrizio told us last summer Arsenal board were in love with Aouar. Will the possibility of a loan entice the Arsenal board to go to Lyon and say, look, loan plus obligation, here's 30 mil, give the player what he wants, you're coming to Arsenal? could that happen? Is there a possibility could that happen? Or will Lyon get enticed by the fact that maybe Tottenham could offer Tanguy and Ndombele back to Lyon in a part exchange for Houssem Aouar? Is that something they're intrigued by? I'm not too sure. I'm not 100% sure on the Spurs side of things, because their interest this summer has been more documented than the Arsenal one. Arsenal have remained quite quiet on the Aouar situation this summer. I definitely think if it's a loan plus obligation, it's a no-brainer. It's 100%. It's going to be a small loan fee, and yes, a bit of agent fee, but then we pay 30 million next summer. So let's see, he has a really good season, his value skyrockets 60, 70, get him in for 30, and then maybe if a bigger club comes in, get him for 30, send him for 60, 70, we move. That's the sort of business we should be looking to do. And look, Aouar, I would love him back at Arsenal, but look, we just have to see what happens. We need a right back as well. That's the next player we're going to talk about. And look, we've still got things to do, because we haven't improved really the starting 11. Other than Ben White, we really haven't done much, have we? Because the other signings aren't really improving our starting 11. Maybe Lokonga you could throw into that, but when Partey comes back, is Lokonga going to be starting every game? I don't know. So I really want someone like Aouar into the club. Maybe get rid of some of the players off the books. Maybe sell Neni, and then put that money towards Aouar and minimal loan fee and then obligation next summer. I think that's a perfect deal for Arsenal to do. The next bit of news we're going to talk about is Kieran Trippier. Now, look, he has been linked with the move to Arsenal pretty much all summer, along with Manchester United. Now, Trippier, a lot of divide on this one. Some people are saying they wouldn't take him. Some people say taking him. What I think is we should get him, because first of all, he's England international, knows the language, he's Premier League proven, knows the league. He has a lot of experience with him as well within the position. Good defending. He's played under Diego Simeone, one of very good coach defensively. He knows how to do it. He's done it in Spain as well under top players, with top players. He's won the league over there as well. I think if we can do a Bellerin Trippier swap, it has to be a no-brainer, hasn't it? Atletico are willing to accept Bellerin, because I think because Trippier is at the moment isn't starting games for Atletico, so maybe they're looking at it and saying, look, Bellerin can be our backup, because obviously Bellerin is from Spain, knows the league, knows the language. He would adapt quick to maybe any other signing they would get, and they can get Trippier off the books as well. Now, is Trippier wanting to come to Arsenal? We don't know that yet, because Manchester United also have interest and they're playing in the Champions League. Does Trippier want the London advantage, but he's not going to be playing in Europe, but he's going to be playing in the Premier League. He's going to be in London, which is where he's from, and will the Tottenham thing have an effect on it? It's a bit unsure, and whether Arsenal actually do want to do the deal between Bellerin and Trippier remains to be seen. But I think it's a deal that is very much doable, and I would not be surprised one bit if Arsenal do try and do this deal in what is remaining of this transfer window. I do think this is something that could possibly happen, and I would be very happy with it. Look, you look at other right backs out there, and you got Dest, maybe you got Aarons, maybe you got Lamptey. I would like them, but we haven't moved quickly in the window to be able to get them, so I think it'd be a stretch to try and go for them in the window. So look, I think now we get Trippier. He's someone that, if Arteta gets sacked, which he probably will this season, then another manager can take up. And look, someone like Conte, for example, he would love someone like Trippier on his side. He's an experienced player, Premier League proven, knows what he's doing, and he could play there. Right wing back, right back, whatever. He could take set pieces as well. We could get free kicks out of him, you know what I mean? Croatia vibes and that. But look, I'd love Trippier at Arsenal. But yeah, we'll just have to see what happens. But it depends whether Trippier actually wants to come to Arsenal. But leave your thoughts in the comment section down below about that one. The next bit of news is on Lucas Torreira. Now, we're going to talk about 3 major outgoings that have been widely documented. Now, Lucas Torreira is now off to Fiorentina. He put it on his story, I think, on social media, and he suggested, he put like a plane, a ball in Italy, and he was on a plane. He's in Fiorentina for a season-long loan, which has an option to buy for 15 million euros, and the loan fee is 1.5 million euros for Arsenal. I don't know, he had an extended holiday. He was on loan at Atletico last season, didn't really work out, and now he's off to Italy. Good luck to the lad, hopefully he does well, and hopefully Fiorentina buy him at the end of it, because then I think he'll be going into his last year of a deal, which isn't great. But let's just hope they buy him for 15 mil, because I think for 15 M's, plus his wages, plus the loan fee, is it that bad? I don't think so. So let's just hope for the best for Lucas Torreira, because Italy is obviously his home country. Hopefully he adapts and plays well, and Fiorentina buy him. But that's the news on Lucas Torreira, as he is going back to Italy. Again, one player, his wages will probably majority will be played by Fiorentina anyway. And look, it's one more player off the books, and hopefully we can try and get rid of more. Talking about more, the next one is Sead Kolasinac. He is close to joining Fenerbahce. His contract is I think it's terminated at Arsenal, and he is set to be joining Fenerbahce. Look, we should have. The one problem I have with this is that we should have done this way earlier in the window, because he came back from Schalke. Arsenal clearly didn't want him because we signed Nuno Tavares, was basically our first signing of the window, so it suggested that Kolasinac wasn't going to stay beyond this window. So I'm very surprised that we actually have held on to him for this long. I would have thought that he maybe would have gone much earlier, and I still wish he would have. But again, look, he's off to Fenerbahce. His contract terminated. He's on 120k a week, and he's going to be leaving on a free to Fenerbahce again. Frees aren't great, but look, we get the wages off the books, and that's all we can hope for, in my opinion. So, Sead Kolasinac, off you trot to Fenerbahce. The next one, the last one we're going to talk about, is Willian. He's off. He's off to Corinthians, and this is, again, a very close deal. He's going to be heading off to Corinthians on a free transfer. Corinthians will pay a few of his wages, but Arsenal will subside his wages, which means they'll pay a tiny bit still. But look, majority will be off the books, and Willian will be on his way to Corinthians. What happened to the 3-year plan, Willian? We're going to win the Champions League in 2 years. If you stick by the process and Arteta, we're winning it. Oh my days. But anyway, look, Willian, again, not been good enough, has he? We went down the route of getting some experience on the wing, and it hasn't really worked. Look, he got 7 assists, he scored a good free kick, he had a few good performances here and there, but overall hasn't been great, as it, and I think it's for the best in all parties if he heads off to Corinthians, where he has played before. You know, it's his own country, it would be sweet there. And yeah, he's off as well. So overall, I'm actually quite happy that we are getting rid of 3 players in Willian, Kolasinac, and Lucas Torreira. That should have left very early on in the window, in my opinion, but they're now finally going to be off. And I think now let's just go for try and get rid of someone like Eddie Nketiah. Apparently Crystal Palace are offering 10 million, get him off the books as well. Elneny, apparently Watford are interested in him, get him off the books. That's 5 players. Maybe get Ainsley Maitland-Niles off the books. That's 6. Now you're getting 5-6 players out the door. Maybe you get Runnison out, that's 7. And then all of a sudden you start generate wages saved, transfer fees, maybe small nominal transfer fees here and there. You put that towards an Aouar. You put the wages towards someone like Trippier for a Bellerin deal, which is now 8 players out. And all of a sudden we're doing all right, aren't we? And suddenly now you can see the overhaul. But again, we should have done this much earlier in the window. But that's it for today's video. If you have enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.